Welcome to Discipulos of Armitage, your YouTube channel about thematics board games. And today is a very special day for us because we have an important guest with us here. Is Cartwright, head of studio Fantasy Flight Games.
Hello.
So, nice to meet you, Jim.
Very
Welcome
nice
to
to meet
Spain.
you. Thank you so much. Such a beautiful country and such amazing food.
Oh, yeah. Hey, after the interview, I recommend you one place to.
Okay. I love to eat food, so.
It's amazing. Well, we are going to talk about the different products of Fantasy Flight Games. So we think begin with Marvel Champions.
Sure.
We just have the last expansion, Agents of Shields. It's wonderful and with new mechanics, new ideas. But in the near future, what is the future of Marvel Champions? We can expect we see Falcon the last day, but who characters are coming? The new expansion. Is perhaps in the near future something really new than we can expect?
Almost as if could there be are you asking could there be a different way to play Marvel Champions in the future?
Maybe. I have an idea.
Okay.
I don't know if this is possible, but
sure. What I can say, and I can't. My marketing team will absolutely not allow me to ever leave the office again if I deliver too much spoiler information. But what I can say is that we have been working with the team to build out with Tony Fanchi as the new lead designer for Marvel Champions, and of course with Aaron Haltom and Frank Brooks. They have brought a lot of unique ideas to the way that Marvel Champions will be played in the future. And of course, Caleb has never truly finished everything. He's always there chatting. He always has great ideas. So no, all of this to say, I think that we have a lot of really exciting things to bring to Marvel Champions. We are truly just getting started. This is a game for us that's very important. We know how much the fans are so passionate about the game.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to make sure we bring the best products possible. And so I think that, it won't be too long before you get information as to what you might be seeing in the very near future. And I think you will be very excited. You'll have to let me know after you hear the next big announcement news.
Okay.
What you think and whether or not I delivered on the hype of.
Okay, I don't know because if we are going to spend a lot of money, I write to you, Jim, stop.
I'm sorry. We can't stop.
Okay. I don't know if you like Marvel Universe.
Love.
You read comics
I've definitely read comics in the past. I think that the with the more the wider audience that the movies bring to has brought a lot of attention to it. I don't miss. I am at the midnight launch of every single one, close to midnight. I'm old. They do it at like 7 p.m. But I'm always there for the newest films. I'm always catching up on Marvel news. I have a subscription to Marvel, ironically, Marvel Unlimited, which allows me to read through a lot of the older stuff. I've gone deep into Iron Man. Like old, very original, started at, the very beginning of Iron Man and worked my way forward. And I've got a couple of other favorite books that I read, but yeah, definitely.
Okay. Have you read, I suppose the movie, you watched the movie, but the crossover of Civil War? Do you read?
Oh, Civil War.
Civil War, do you read it?
I have read Civil War, absolutely.
Okay. This is an important moment because we have the most difficult question, perhaps.
Oh, no.
Think carefully.
Okay.
You must choose 2 options.
Oh, no.
Team Cap, Team Iron Man.
You can't. This would be this great moment where I give you the answer, but you cut right before we tell the audience. So there's a cut that says, well, I would choose team, and then cut. And then I come back and go, and that's what I'd choose. Because you can't make me choose that at an interview. It makes... Okay. So I am a because I did start with it. I am a huge Iron Man fan.
You're freaking maca.
However, it's got to be Team Captain America. It has to be. It has to be. Absolutely.
We are Team Captain America. It's my favorite superhero.
Yeah.
And well, it's amazing for us. But besides Captain America, there are other characters we both like Daredevil, Moon Knight, Fantastic Four.
Sure.
So I don't know today, not tomorrow, but it's possible in the future to play with these characters in Marvel Champions. We will see them.
So I always like to answer this kind of question in this particular way, which is one of the beautiful things about the expansive Marvel universe is that your favorite characters, we're designing, we've been working on these products for a long time. We have a lot of, everyone has a favorite character. Everyone is always like, when is this character coming? When is this character coming? The great thing about Marvel Champions is that possibility of that character showing up is always there. Always there.
Okay.
But I will say again, we have tried to be very cognizant, aware, listening to the fans about what they want to see. Sometimes development takes longer than most people expect. And so we want to make sure that when we do it right. That's the most important thing, right? Because once it's there, once you have access to your favorite characters, they have to feel like your favorite characters. And so making sure that we take the time to do them right and get them out, because once they're there, they're there. You now can play as that character. So we want to make sure that we take the time to make sure that that's right. That makes sense?
I remember when, I think it was when you released this Legends of the Dark or something like that.
We're pivoting here. I love this.
But we return to Marvel.
Okay, all right.
Because in our community began a little joke with we want Marvel Crawler now with a hashtag. So I remember that, and is this possible?
I mean, we are in the process of looking at our board games very explicitly in a different space, right? We have kind of rebuilt the studio to have a board game team, a living card game team, trading card game team. And we know that, one of the things that we at Fantasy Flight are really fortunate to have is the ability to design products in Star Wars and Marvel and Lord of the Rings and all of the huge fandom brands that we as fans, this is, I was a fan of all of these before I came to Fantasy Flight. And so we're always looking at what are the best opportunities that we can use to have to showcase in the gaming space all of our favorite brands. So is it possible? I would love to say it's always possible. But I am always where there's a lot of different possibilities that we can play with, and we want to make sure that when we do it right.
Okay. Don't worry about if you say something and your marketing team, I'm waiting for you with guns. And you can tell them. The fault is on Ismael. Ismael is the fault.
Sure.
It's my fault. It's my fault. And I think they understand. We are going to change to Arkham files.
Okay. Yes.
We are a big band. We are big fans of this universe. So Arkham Horror LCG, we just have the Drown City.
Drown City, yes.
City.
Big campaign for us. This was before we get to the question, I do want to at least point out one of the things about Drown City that was really important was Maxine Newman, one of the original designers, obviously, as you all know. Very good. She always held back Cthulhu for the end of the game. That was the we will use Cthulhu as the final campaign, because it's how do you go bigger than that, right? And so as we were approaching what is now will be the 10th campaign that we've done, it was very important for us to, because I know that Maxine's talked about that, and the design team in some cases around the years has talked about that. But for us, we saw it as this perfect moment to say, Arkham, this is definitely not the end. but it can't. We also can't be. We can't just do it as another campaign. It has to be something more. It has to do something more for the world of Arkham, that Cthulhu has arrived. We can't ignore that fact. And so this is a moment for Arkham Horror where, and I think we've said it in some of our things, or we've hinted at it maybe in some of our live streams, but truly the Arkham, Massachusetts will never quite be the same after Cthulhu arrives in Johnson.
It's your fault that I can't sleep at night. I explained that because I think it was in the last Gen Con. You say a sentence, Arkham never will be the same. And Penelope and me says, what does it mean? He says, I can't sleep thinking, what are they doing? Give me some little clue.
Sure. Yeah. So it was really important because I said that, and I heard from my marketing team quite a bit. There were people who were worried we're canceling Arkham Horror. That this is the end. It is absolutely not. But when you're playing in the space of Arkham, and everything about the mythos is kind of when you run through your we'll say your Dunwich Legacy campaign, the rest of the world continues to move on. There aren't any, you have saved, well, hopefully you've saved the day, and are the unsung heroes of that, because no one can know what you did or how you did it. It's not talked about in the Arkham Advertiser. It's not discussed amongst the community. Could Cthulhu show up and be the same? Could that be the same response if Cthulhu were to appear in the what does that mean for the mythos? What does that mean for how the world reacts to such an event?
Okay. So I understand that in the near future, in Arkham or LCG, the last campaign has an impact in the world and things change. Something like that.
That's an interesting way to read that.
Okay. So inside the Arkham files, you have Mansion of Madness. Mansion of Madness is one of the best games we ever played.
No hard.
It's not hard. And I don't remember, a few weeks ago, you announced a new scenario for Mansion of Madness.
Yes.
We are very happy with that. Is that? But we want more, of course. And we don't know if you have new plans for Mansion of Madness in the near future with, I don't know, with the scenario expansion or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. So one of the things that we always look at is, how our games kind of live in the market, right? Meaning, do we need more content? Do we need small box expansions, large box expansions? Do we need any expansions? And something that we've heard quite a bit, the design team, I was a small part of that design team at one point, was, there's so much you can do with things like the scenarios to do it digitally and still get to use all the content that you have. Okay. So instead of adding more tiles or more monsters directly, or additional investigators, although I obviously want to see, we have some exciting investigators that maybe we've done in the card game that haven't quite made their way to Mansions of Madness. But we always look at and figure out what's the best way to kind of think about mansions, specifically as this game is a digital hybrid, right? It's a thing where there's not a whole lot of games that play in the space of both part digital, part physical, and we want to make sure that we support that kind of experience as best we can, because it's unique, it's different, it can't be done all through the traditional ways that most pure physical board games. The only way for you to really get new content, other than print and play, is to put out a big expansion. So this is our way of saying, hey, actually, we know that there's a lot of Mansions fans who own probably, if not all, most of the content that exists. And we wanted to give an opportunity to still be able to play with new stuff and see the new stuff that we're putting out and kind of see how the fans react to that. Is that something that's exciting? But what I can tell you is even beyond that, Mansions of Madness is one of our pillar brands for the studio. It is one of our most popular. It is one of our most desired. I get asked questions about Mansions of Madness all of the time. It has a personal place in my heart as the first game that I got to design for. And so, not that that's a reason for any of that, but it is one of our more popular brands. And you can expect that as a pillar brand for us, we may have some plans for how we continue to explore the Mansions of Madness.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I think a campaign Call of Cthulhu for Mansion of Madness.
Oh, interesting.
So
great. Something where, like, because Cthulhu has come to Arkham Files as a big experiential thing that maybe has some kind of impact that you might see that across more than just one game. Interesting. I never thought of that.
You think about that. So the last question about Arkham Files is from our community, because a lot of people ask to us in the comments on YouTube and Twitter and etc. What's going on with Arkham Horror Board Game, the 3rd edition?
Sure.
They asked me, it's going to be new expansions. I don't know. I don't know. So what's going on with Arkham 3rd edition?
So what we looked at, and again, we always have to make decisions in the studio of how deep we go with game lines, in particular being very cognizant of, do we make more games in terms of different product catalog, or do we go deeper with some of the catalog games that we have? I know that there's always this question that comes up. I feel like sometimes that it's probably a dream that I've answered it before in a very intentional, specific kind of final way. But right now there is no intention. This is a part where I feel sad that I'm kind of, it's additional news. That's not exciting news, but maybe it brings some closure to the conversation. We feel that what we have for Arkham Horror Arkham Horror the board game 3rd edition is what we feel is our complete game. Okay. We still print it. It still sells to new fans. The expansions continue to be in print for new fans. But in terms of new content, we don't have at this time any plans to expand Arkham Horror, the board game 3rd edition, any further.
Okay. So we changed one more time, and with such a game, Star Wars Unlimited. Jim, such a game, you know.
I do know a little bit about Star Wars Unlimited.
A little bit. So the first question, I don't remember the last week or the last month, and you talk about it. Into the Battle, Hoth.
Yes.
For the audience, what is this?
Sure.
New product.
Yeah. So Intro Battle Hoth is explicitly intended to be a new player product. So not just new to Star Wars Unlimited, but new to TCGs. It is intended to be a very guided experience where you can have no idea, have never played a trading card game before. You purchase this box, you open it up. There's 2 players. It's a 2-player experience, and the content in there will guide you for how the game works. You play this card from your hand. It's literally intended to be a fully guided experience for your first playthrough, and then allows you to kind of start shuffling it up and playing it and getting used to the mechanics. But it's built intentionally with a very kind of core game system. So we don't go deep into a lot of the more complicated mechanics. It's just a way to get someone familiar with the idea of, you're going to play a resource, you're going to exhaust resources to play a unit. Units can attack a base, or units can attack another unit. Your objective is to do X amount of damage to the base in order to win. And really kind of again, walk somebody through all of the steps of how to learn a TCG as if from scratch, as if you had never played one before.
Okay. When I saw the little video about Into the Battle, I pay attention to the title. And I says, Into the Battle, 2 points, Hoth. So I began to think, it's possible in the future, I don't know, Into the Battle, 2 points, Endor, Into the Battle, 2 points, wherever. You have this in mind to create different point of access with this product to Star Wars Unlimited?
This guy thinks of all the good ideas. I wish I thought this way. I wish I had these ideas. We need to bring you into the studio.
Okay.
That's not a hard sell, right?
Okay. No problem.
No, it's an intentional way. Obviously, we want to see how the product performs. If it's accepted, if it's something that the community loves and enjoys. We have thought through the ability to be able to expand that experience based on, if you look at the way that we, I talked about this, I think, at several different places, but if you look at year one of Star Wars Unlimited, we very intentionally, in order to show that we can access content from kind of all over the Star Wars galaxy, from all the different eras and things like that, where we intentionally built, okay, set one is original trilogy focus with Spark of Rebellion, right? So Spark of Rebellion very much focused on the classic original trilogy content. Shadows of the Galaxy then focused on a lot more of the more modern Disney content, Mandalorian specifically, but also some of the sequel era stuff, a lot more of the the newer stuff for the newest fans. And then we wrapped up the year with Twilight of the Republic, very intentionally prequel era, to get fans again from that type of from that part of the fandom to be excited about the product and see that their favorite thing is represented. And so when we thought about, well, okay, if this is going to be our way to kind of intro new players into the game with intro battle, we can do it if it proves to be successful, something that players want. It is a way for us to go find specifically new fans who might just be Star Wars fans, who have never played a TCG, to come in through maybe a battle that is iconic for them. So right now, there's no, we don't have anything else in development, but we wanted to kind of future proof that to say, we're going to bring you in an intro battle, Hoth. There could be possibilities in the future for us to explore other places.
Okay. I know you are a big fan of Star Wars.
A little bit.
Me too. And all we know that at the studio, you are working in different set of Star Wars Unlimited for the future. But like a fan of Star Wars, I began to think, I am going to use a little trick in this moment. Okay. So it's possible, think carefully, focus, that I don't know, in the future, maybe next year, I don't know when, to have a set of Star Wars Unlimited about the High Republic. Think, Jim, give me hope, Jim.
So what I can say, and this is how I know that you and I are both big fans of Star Wars together. What I can say is that now I'm gonna tell a story here, a little bit of a story.
Okay.
That's important. Because I think it gets a little bit towards what you want, but I can't give you the direct answer that you want specifically. Okay. So I'm going to do it through storytelling. When we were designing the original mechanics for the game, so this was Danny Schaefer and I in our R&D very early. This is it might even be late 2020, and we were just playing around with the different ways in which mechanics could work. Testing out the way that the game played, and we were applying all of the different parts of Star Wars to be able to see how we could make things like that work. At the time, I had just read Light of the Jedi, and I'm a huge fan of Avar Kriss.
Oh, okay.
And so the very first card that I designed as a leader for the game was Avar Kriss. Now, I say that.
I want to see that.
And I say this because what's important to understand is that when we were done with R&D, all of our designs were wiped out. We wanted to make sure that the game, we designed just to test mechanics and systems and all those things. It wasn't intended to be this is a final design for a card in the future, not the theme, not the character, not the mechanic. It was just us pushing the boundaries of what the design could do. And I thought, this is a cool character that I can do this with, and I get to, I'm in design, I can do at this point whatever, we can work whatever until we go to print it. And so all of that content was removed from the game. Again, it was my first card design, so you can imagine it didn't work with the way that the game works now, all of those things. But I always think about the fact that I, as a huge fan of the High Republic, would love to see High Republic come to the game in a very real way. And my hope is that you don't have to wait so long for that possibility to be a reality.
I'm very happy at that moment. Well, the last part of the interview, approach to other universe I love so much. You can imagine. I love so much. I am a big fan. I know the lore of the world is Terrinoth. And my favorite games at that moment is Destiny Legends of the Dark. For me, it's the best dungeon crawler. I play it with Penelope. We have fun, adventure. For me, it's amazing. We play at 1, we play at 2, and we are hoping the next gym. And in the past, you talk about Ghost of Great Haven. It's an expansion. So please tell me what's going on with Destiny. We can expect this year, or perhaps no. I don't know.
Sure. This is one of the places where everything falls timeline-wise. A lot of the conversations having. This is going to be. I'm saddened that this is the end of the interview, because this is the one place in which I can't give you any additional information in this moment. This is where I have to cut the marketing side and be like, I would love to be able to give you more information. But in this moment, Legends of the Dark is something that I cannot provide any additional information on at this moment, at this time. I'm sorry. I know I'm a disappointment. I'm sorry.
Breaking my heart.
I know. You gave me we tried to balance this. I gave you the little story about Avar Chris, and you're so happy. Let's just end. Cut the interview there. It'll be fine.
The last question, difficult one.
Oh no, not a difficult one.
Yeah, this is very difficult. Wow.
Okay.
When are you going to release a Terrinoth LCG or something like that?
Oh, is that something that you would want?
Me?
Yeah.
All in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penelope, is that something that you would want?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to know. It's good to know that there are fans who that would find that interesting and fun and entertaining and a great way to explore it.
Because with this, we are in the fourth darkness in Terrinoth, and I suppose with the third act we finish this.
He read all the novels.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I told you. So I think I imagine a cooperative game with narrative and new heroes, or heroes we know about in the second edition, or something like that, with new adventures in this situation with Terrinoth and Fourth Darkness. And I think it's perfect for that. It's a dream. It's a dream.
Sure.
With me.
Sure. Yeah. I can't confirm or deny any new LCGs at this moment. I can't confirm or deny what those IPs would be, but I always like to hear from our fans. And so, I mean, if this is something that, your audience is interested in, I think that talking about that on social media channels and talking to us in like this, where we can have these conversations, is important to figuring out what we want to bring out next for Fantasy Flight Games fans. And so, always trying to listen to what that's a big part of, I think, what we've tried really hard to do in the last several years is truly listen to what the fans want.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the interview, James. It's a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure.
So now, like the video and subscribe.
Los discípulos de Armitage.